What's up, everybody? My name is Amy, and this is the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. It's your way that you're sitting on top of the world. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. My name is Amy. Welcome to my show. Hope everyone is having a wonderful evening. I am excited because I am going to SpaCon tomorrow in Hot Springs, Arkansas. It's basically Comic-Con, but it's called SpaCon because Hot Springs is the spa city. So that's why it's called SpaCon. But I'm excited because I have made my own costume, and I am I'm going as a anime doll, and I'm going as my YouTube persona. I'm like I said, I've created my own costume. It's hot pink and black, and I created my anime based off of my YouTube persona. I am a true crime podcaster I'm a true crime podcaster on the mean streets of YouTube, fighting for truth and justice for families who are victims of crimes and missing children. And I'm also fighting against the bullying on the mean streets of YouTube. I have a special power. I have a weapon, and it is a selfie light and a microphone. And when the selfie light shines on you and you speak into the microphone will only put out the truth. So if you try to speak in that microphone and tell a lie, it will only repeat the truth. So, for example, if I said, hello, my name is Tori Spelling, and I am 26 years old, it would say, that is a lie. Your name is Amy, and you are 52 years old. So, that's my little secret weapon. That's my special power. If the selfie light shines on you and you speak, the microphone will only reverb the truth out of your mouth. So just a little creativity there. But I'm excited to go. So anyway, I well, hello, Nana of 7. How are you? I just now got the comments to come on. Not sure. Okay. Not sure. I'm still learning this whole StreamYard thing. But let me, before I get to talking about Kiely Rodni, I wanted to talk for just a minute about my shows that have come back on. Does anyone watch The Handmaid's Tale? Wow. Season 5, of course, has started on The Handmaid's Tale, and it is intense. And I don't know where they're going to go with this season. It is the last season. So, I don't know where they're going to go with this. All I know is there's going to be some death. I don't know if June and Serena are going to kill each other, if June's going to kill Serena, if Serena's going to kill June. I can't imagine June going as far as hurting Serena's baby. I think, the only way she would take it that far is if something happened to Hannah, her daughter, in which Serena has manipulated an incident and brought Hannah out into the public for June to see. So, but man, this season on The Handmaid's Tale is intense, and I don't know where they're going to go with it. I don't know who June is going to end up with, but I'm excited for it, and I'm literally sitting on pins and needles waiting, every week for a new episode to come out. Also, Law and Order came back on. They did a wonderful crossover Thursday night between Law and Order SVU, and Law and Order Organized Crime, and they all worked the same case. And it appears they're going to do it again next week, which I'm really excited about, because I've really enjoyed seeing, all 3 squads working together on one case, because I just love, all 3 shows. So, yeah, they, it was an excellent 3-hour premiere, and I'm looking forward to next week. Again, they're gonna all 3 crossover. I would love a whole season of it, to tell you the truth. I would love a whole season of them crossing over, working with each other. So anyway, on to talking about the Kiely Rodni case. I have not actually been discussing this case here on my channel. I have been participating on panel with Bullhorn Betty over on her channel, at the Bullhorn Betty Show, and her. Oh, okay, your internet. Yeah, I know what that's like. My internet out here has gotten better, but it has its moments. But I have been participating on panel over on Bullhorn Betty's channel, um, with her and other panel guests and Chronicles of Olivia, um, in talking about the Kiely Rodni case. I've only talked about it here on my channel really just once, because I compared it with a case that happened here in Arkansas in 1989, where a 16-year-old girl died during a high school party in Marshall, Arkansas. And if you haven't seen that video yet, please go and watch the video here on my channel titled Unresolved: The Death of Olivia Jane Ward. And it's I just kind of compare the two cases and talk about it, because that was the first thing that came to my mind when the Kiely Rodni case broke, was the case of Olivia Jane Ward, in which I advocated for years for truth and justice in her case. And we still, to this day, have no definitive answers in Janie's case. Yeah, definitely. But, and we have been really having some great discussions over at the Bullhorn Betty show about the Kiely Rodni case. Now, has there been speculation? Of course there's been speculation, because until you have all the facts, that's all you can do, is speculate as to what might have happened. But we have all been clear about that, we speculate, or we think, or it's possible this might have happened, or whatever. You missed Criminal Minds. I didn't watch Criminal Minds. I have since gotten into a show that I didn't watch when it was on, and that is NCIS New Orleans. I watch reruns of that on Ion, and I just love that show. Absolutely love it. Of course, I love Lucas Black, but I love that show. I'm like, why in the hell did I watch this when it was on TV? But anyway, we have been clear about, that we're speculating, or that we think this might have happened, or that might have happened, or whatever. But try to keep within the best of our abilities to get answers from each other, ask questions. Someone answer this question, and things like that, and go by as much facts as we know. And slowly, witnesses have come forward. Adventures with Purpose, of course, found her and found her car, and and everything. And but last night I was listening to a channel, and I'm hearing all these crazy conspiracy theories, and I'm like, what in the hell? Are you people not even listening to any of the witnesses that have come forward, or what police have said, or what has been as factual as we can get? There's this crazy speculation that the car was not in Prosser Lake Reservoir, was not put into Prosser Lake Reservoir until after it was searched by the police. But it was put in there before Adventures with Purpose came to town. And I'm like, what? There is no way. No way. Because everyone is speculating and does not understand how the police and all these divers and special forces and who all ever was out there searching for Kiely could have missed her car. I mean, once Adventures with Purpose got to Prosser Lake, they found it in 5 minutes. You know, it didn't take them 5 minutes to find it. And so, you know, there's this big speculation that either there's this big cover up by the police, or the car was not put in there till after the police searched it, but before Adventures with Purpose came to town. No one was driving around for 2 or 3 weeks with Kiely deceased in the back of the car and hiding her car or whatever. That just didn't happen. Okay. So let me break this down for the conspiracy theorist in the back, how I believe this went down. According to all the eyewitnesses that have come forward, things that Sammy Smith has said, things that the police have released, Adventures with Purpose finding the car. There's also some, I think they are some type of satellite photos or sonar satellite photos that came from somewhere, some website, and they're taken like every few days. Well, a creator named Stony Stone sent this information to Bullhorn Betty and to Dolly Vision with these photos, and stating that the car does not, the shadow doesn't appear on the 4th. Kiely went missing. The party was on the, Kiely went missing on the 6th, but there's a shadow that shows up in this aerial satellite photo that was taken on the 7th. Okay, which is the day after. Now, whether you took this information and we did discuss these photos on the Bullhorn Betty channel, and whether you take these photos as legit or, there were people that tried to disprove them, saying that those pictures were taken a year before in 2021. Whether or not you see a shadow in the picture, or you think you see a car too, or whatever, all of that is really irrelevant, because guess what? The car was found by Adventures with Purpose right where Stony Stone showed these photos with the shadowy looking thing under the water. So whatever you thought about his photos in the beginning, or took them serious, or just blew them off, or whatever, is really irrelevant, because he was right. And the car was found exactly where those satellite photos or whatever were taken. And hello, Lola Roo, how are you? I'm sorry, I'm not hardly keeping up with the chat. But anyway, so you then have the information that Sammy Smith has given, the police have given, and party goers that have come forward. So let me break this down for you step by step and tell you exactly how I think this all went down. Now, this is speculating, but this is based on facts as best as we have gotten them. So, yeah, and no one took him serious. I mean, yeah, we did discuss it on Bullhorn Betty's show, and, some people tried to disprove it. Some people, yeah, I think I see something. No, I don't see nothing. But it really doesn't matter now, because, like I said, that's exactly where the car was ended up being found. So he was right all along. Okay. Kiely goes to this party. And according to the party goer witnesses, Jane Doe number 1 and Jane Doe number 2, who have come forward and talked privately with Chronicles of Olivia, they give more insight into the story. And if you haven't seen her videos, please go to Chronicles of Olivia and watch her interviews with Jane Doe number 1 and Jane Doe number 2. She interviews these girls. She changes their voice. She does not release their identity. She is very respectful and very what's the word I'm looking for? She just handled this in a very respectful and private and well-mannered way. And kudos to her. Her videos are awesome. But according to the story, this is how it goes. Kiely goes to this party. Okay, according to eyewitnesses Jane Doe number 1 and Jane Doe number 2, she is highly intoxicated by 11 o'clock. She is falling down, can't talk, knee walking drunker than Cooter Brown, or messed up on something, according to these two eyewitnesses. Now, we know that, according to the police, Kiely texted her mother at 11:30. Now, it's been speculated on whether or not it was really Kiely that actually texted her mother. I don't know. I have to assume so. That's what you do when you're trying to prove or disprove if someone's telling the truth or someone's lying. You have to take their word as the truth and apply it and see whether or not if it fits. And if it's not plausible, then it's most likely a lie. So Sammy states that she and Kiely, and I'm thinking maybe even a couple of other people, went to Kiely's car and charged their phones. And I would have to go back through the interviews with Sammy to remember what time, or if she even says when they went to charge their phones. But I'm kind of speculating that around the time Kiely texted her mother is when they were in the car charging their phones. And when you charge your phone on a car charger, it does not charge as fast as it does on your home charger. So I figured they probably sat in the car for 30 minutes tops, charging their phones, and depending on how dead their phones were, that got up to 15, 20, 25%, maybe. Like I said, I'm just speculating on that. And then went back to the party. Okay. At 12:30, a lot of things happen. Now give this 12:30 time about a 15-minute window on each side. So from 12:15 to 12:45, all this stuff happens. According to Jane Doe number 2, who spoke with Olivia, there was a mass exit at 12:30. The police have released that Kiely's phone last pinged on the Prosser Lake water, near the Prosser Lake water, at 12:33. There is also statement by Jane Doe number 2 that some guy blocked the only way in and out of where they were with his vehicle at around 12:30, and that there was this fight at 12:30. So you've got all this stuff happening in this window of time at 12:30. Now, the way I understand what is meant by Kiely's phone last pinged at 12:33. I have understood it that her phone pinged near the water at Prosser Lake Reservoir at 12:33, and that it either went dead or was shut off. That's the way I understand it. If I'm wrong, then please someone correct me on that. Sammy states that Kiely called her at 12:36, which is odd because she would have literally had to look back on her phone to state that odd of a time. Now the police releasing this information can pinpoint, yes, Kiely's phone pinged at 12:33, that Sammy would not remember that odd of a time unless she looked at her phone prior to making this statement. So if Kiely's phone last pinged at 12:33 and then either was shut off or went dead, then it is impossible for her to have called Sammy at 12:36. She also, why would she ask her twice? If Sammy had just saw her and just told her that she was getting another way home because Kiely was too drunk to drive, then why would Kiely call her at 12:36 and say, hey, you got a ride or whatever? I mean, unless it's just, being dumb drunk. So I'm going to have to see that cell phone data in order to believe whether or not Kiely called Sammy at 12:36. Now, according to Olivia's interview, Jane Doe number 2 states that she saw Kiely after 12:30 when all of these major things happened. Her phone going dead, this fight, this guy blocking the road, this big disbursement and what all. What's not known exactly is when the guy moved his vehicle and everybody was able to get out. So I'm thinking maybe sometime between 1 and 1:30. I'm going to speculate that the fight ends and the guy moves his truck or whatever, and whoever's left was left before he blocked the road off, was able to leave. I don't recall what time Jane Doe number 2 says she left the party. I want to say around 2, but please watch Olivia's video to be sure of that, and don't quote me on that. So she also states, now Kiely's car, according to Jane Doe number 2, was parked in the sanctuary, what's called the sanctuary parking lot, and that several people had parked there. That people had parked all over the place and sort of walked down, I guess, there to the beach to the party or whatever. And she also states that sometime during this time period, I believe between 12:30 and 1, that Kiely was asked if she needed a ride, and she said, no thanks, I have a ride. Well, what does she mean by that? Was she riding with somebody else? Did that mean she was riding with somebody else? Did that mean that someone was driving her car? Did she mean, no thanks, I have my own car here? She could have meant several things. But, in my experience of being during my time of partying, saying no thanks, I have a ride means I either have a ride with someone or I've got my car here. I mean, you don't necessarily have to be specific in telling someone, yes, I have a ride with Sally, or no, I have my car here. You know, just no thanks, I got a ride. You know, that is blowing somebody off. That is wanting to get rid of them really quick, in my opinion. So what time did Kiely's car leave the sanctuary parking lot at the Prosser Lake Reservoir? That is the big question. Was the car put in the lake from there, or was it her car over at my mind just went blank. Bo, Bo Boko. Anyway, the other place where the tow truck driver comes in. But how do you, I'm so sorry, y'all. Boko. Anyway, y'all, I'm sure y'all all know what I'm talking about. Was that Kiely's car? Was that Kiely and some dude that this AAA tow truck driver, whoever, encountered? And how did her car get from Prosser over to Bocono, or however you pronounce it? So the tow truck driver states that he got called out for a battery call to this car, and stated that, you know, the girl looked like she'd been there all night, hungover. She was wearing a hoodie. Some guy with a black San Francisco ball cap on, and that they were acting really weird and shady and asking strange questions about seat belts, and the car was in neutral, and, you know, you can't start the car in neutral or whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know, let the car charge for a little while and you'll be all right. This happened at 11 o'clock. And before the Jane Doe number 2 witness came out, this tow truck driver who was interviewed by Adventures with Purpose, the guy's name is Nick. No one knew what to think. No one, knew, is this guy just bullshitting? Is he, did he really see Kiely's car? Is he mistaken? Did he, it just didn't fit the puzzle at that time. And so everybody was speculating, like, is he a liar? Is it, what is the deal with this guy? This just doesn't fit the puzzle. Well, now, after Jane Doe number 2 has come forward, it makes perfect sense. And I don't believe that Adventures with Purpose would put this information out intentionally if they didn't believe this guy or have reason to believe this guy. And they did take him at his word, and they searched the water there at I'm sorry, I'm having so much trouble with this damn word. Bocano. They searched, Adventures with Purpose searched the water there. You know, the tip from Nick saying that he saw the car there and everything, you know, gave them plausible reason to search that body of water. And they did not find anything. So they went back to square one, which was her last known location and where her phone last pinged. They went out into Prosser Lake and found her right off the bat in 15 feet of water. Well, now it's speculating on how her car got in the water, who put her car in the water, was she still alive, was she already deceased when she went into the water, and all that. I fully believe with the way these two were acting, the weird questions that they were asking this Nick tow truck driver, that whoever he encountered is the culprit. That is who put Kiely Rodni's car in Prosser Lake Reservoir. I don't believe the blonde girl was Kiely, because the shadiness in the way that they were switching sides and protecting the car, they were trying to avoid Nick seeing Kiely's seeing Kiely's body in that hatchback. I have no doubt in my mind. So whoever is on this surveillance video, or this video, dash cam video, tow truck, from tow truck, whatever it is allegedly, the police have those videos and they have identified who is in the video. However, we don't know the answer to that. We can only speculate as to who it might have been. But I do not believe in my heart of hearts that the female was Kiely. I believe she was already deceased or unconscious in the back of that car. And that whoever the two people were drove her car back over to Prosser Lake Reservoir. And now it has been stated that her car was in neutral. But it has not been stated whether or not the ignition was on. So, don't know whether the engine was running, or if it was just, like the key was turned over, but not fully to where the ignition was running. The car was put into neutral, and I believe that it was parked up where it was level. Whoever it was, whether the engine was running or not, I kind of figured the engine probably was running. Got out, went behind the car, pushed the car down the embankment in neutral, and it went sailing off into the water. Floated off, submerged, and flipped over and landed on its hood. Because that is exactly what happened when Susan Smith rolled her car down the boat ramp at John D. Lake with her 2 children strapped in their car seats in the back seat. She put the emergency brake on. She parked it at the top of the boat ramp with the engine running. She put that emergency brake down, got out, put that emergency brake down, shut that door, and let those 2 little babies go sailing off down that boat ramp and into that water. And it submerged and filled with water and flipped over upside down, just like Kiely's car did. I don't believe anybody was in the vehicle when it went into the water except for Kiely. Because that embankment down to the water and I've only been able to view it from photos and Google Earth and things like that, and through video where adventures, where the car's being pulled out and they're out on the lake. I've looked at a lot of video to make this judgment and photos, and there's plenty of embankment enough for that car to have rolled down that hill in neutral, went flying off into the water, and began to submerge and flip over. They did an actual video reenactment with cameras in the car in the Susan Smith case. So that is exactly how I believe Kiely's car went into the lake. The same way Susan Smith's did. Now, how did Kiely die? Was Kiely deceased when she went into the water? We will not know that information until the police release the medical examiner report, autopsy report, and toxicology reports. We will not know that answer. So, you're just going to have to sit and hold your cookies and wait till November the 1st until they state what those autopsy and toxicology reports say. Whether or not she was already deceased, whether or not she was still alive, whether or not she died from alcohol poisoning, whether she died from drug overdose, what kind of drug overdose, did she have a subdural hematoma? There are, did she get beat up? Was she SA'd? All those things will be answered when the police release those autopsy and toxicology reports. However, yeah, that is the $1 million question. Hi, Searching for Truth. How are you? But more than likely, we will never find. That is true. Lord, Searching for Truth, I hope they don't, because I don't know how old you are, if you're old enough to remember Elvis Presley. And the but Vernon had his autopsy sealed for 50 years. And my God, there has been more speculation on exactly what killed Elvis Presley for since 1977. And I can tell you where I was when Elvis died. I was standing on the side of Central Avenue in downtown Hot Springs with my mother and my grandmother. I was 7 years old. Lord God, there's enough speculation as it is. I hope we don't have to speculate her cause of death. I don't think that we are, to my understanding. To my understanding, they are supposed to do a press conference on November the 1st and release all that information. Now, do they have the preliminary autopsy results? I'm sure they do. But the toxicology takes a lot longer. And so, in order to paint a full picture and determine how exactly Kiely died, then they had to wait on those toxicology results because, there was no apparent other cause of death, such as, a stabbing or a shooting or anything like that. Oh, you did used to live in Hot Springs, Arkansas? I'm going to SpaCon tomorrow. I have made me this cute costume, and I'm going as an anime doll of my YouTube persona. I talked about it at the beginning of the video of this video. Yeah, I'm going to SpaCon tomorrow. I'm excited. They're going to have the Stranger Things van there, and the guy who does the voice of Squidward is from Arkansas. He's going to be there, so I'm excited to go. But yeah, God forbid, yeah. But I don't think that they are. I think that they're going to release everything on November the 1st. So we've still got another month of waiting, which is gonna suck. But I mean, what other choice do we have but to wait? Because none of us can get that autopsy results or toxicology reports and things like that. You can't even get a FOIA fulfilled while there's an active investigation. There have been people that have requested documents and stuff, and they will not release them because it is still an active investigation. You have to wait until you actually have to wait until the case is closed. So if there is a trial, if there is an arrest and a trial and all that, which I hope that there will be. A lot of people are worried that there's going to be a small town cover up and they're going to come back and say this was a terrible, tragic accident. And ain't none of us out here in the YouTube streets going to buy that shit at all. I mean, you can't be any more, you know, foul. This was foul play. There is no question about it. So, but yeah, you have to wait till the case is actually closed until you can FOIA, which is the Freedom of Information Act, any kind of documents pertaining to the case. So that's where we stand in this whole case. But I wanted to just to talk about it and give my theory, my speculated theory on how this went down, and what exactly happened based on what we do know and what witnesses have said and things that Sammy has said and the police have said, because this whole conspiracy theory of her car being hidden until after the police searched Prosser Lake and then they put it in there, and and all that, that I just don't know. The simplest answer is usually the correct answer. But no matter how you look at it, someone did this to Kiely. Someone tried to cover up her death. Whether someone intentionally hurt her, or they SA'd her, or she just died of alcohol poisoning or drug overdose, and however she died, someone wanted to cover this up. And I fully have every reason to believe that whoever that tow truck driver encountered with Kiely's car, if it is indeed Kiely's car, they are the culprits. They are the ones who put her into that lake. And the question is why? Why did they need to cover up her death? What was done to her? Did someone give her bad drugs? Did someone assault her? Did someone beat her up? Somebody did something sinister to that girl for them to have tried to cover up her death by pushing her car, rolling her car down an embankment into that reservoir. And they deserve to be prosecuted for what they did. And that's just how I feel about it. Or something. Yeah, me too. But we're not going to know, where's it storming at? Nana of 7, where are you? Wherever you are, honey, be safe. I live in Arkansas. I've been through tornadoes and storms and floods and you name it. Bad ones. So I know these storms are scary. And it's done got hot again in Arkansas, and it's muggy as hell. Oh, you're in Florida. Oh, that's right. Isn't there's a storm hitting the coast, isn't there? Um, God, I can't even remember what the name of it is. If that's what you're talking about, my niece is in Gulf Shores, and yeah, we get it all here in Arkansas. Uh, I mean, I had been through a flood. Um, I have been through a tornado. Um, that same house, the house I lived in for 40 years, was flooded. Tornado came through my neighborhood. Um, Ice storms knocking power out for 2 weeks, and I mean, it's been through some doozies. Been through some doozies. Much evidence. Oh, I know. Nana of seven. You know, I don't know what to think about this guy from Click It TV or whatever. You know, he just popped up overnight and became this overnight YouTube sensation because he went out there to Prosser Lake and found her computer. And um, he's involved with this guy who is an alleged PI, which I've heard his license is expired, that got sucked up to the family, and he's turned out to be just like the private investigator that got involved in the Dylan Rounds case. Oh, you did in 97 in Arkadelphia. See, I'm not far from Arkadelphia. Um yeah, SF investigates. Um, you know, I I had to actually look up their photos and listen to their voices in comparison because I thought that the way SF Investigates acts, that he was the same cuckoo dude from the Dylan Rounds case. You know, because he's just been such an asshat, just like that guy was. So I thought they were one and the same, but apparently not. No, there's two different. They're two different people. So, but yeah, you know, they made the police. To my understanding, the police made Adventures with Purpose leave after they found the car. That they did not allow them to secure the vehicle as they would in a recovery, and that they did not allow them to be involved. Oh, this is your first hurricane? Oh, well, my daughter, and well, she lives back home here in Arkansas now, but when my daughter was living in Alabama with her dad, and then they went through Hurricane Isaac. Was it Hurricane Isaac, I believe? Okay, they went to New Orleans. No, wait a minute. They went to New Orleans when I believe it was Hurricane Isaac happened. And then after that is when Katrina hit New Orleans. Um, I think that's the order it went in, but I worked with Katrina victims here in Arkansas because we opened up our church camp that I went to as a kid as a refugee camp. And I went out there every day and volunteered and worked with survivors from Katrina. And that's an experience I will never forget. And I also worked at my animal shelter because we took in Katrina animals from that survived from Katrina. Them poor animals were so traumatized. It was just, that is an experience I will never, ever, ever in my life forget. But yeah, I am very surprised at, apparently, the car wasn't properly secured in the recovery, and all this stuff must have floated out the window, once the car either went into the water and floated out the window, or it all fell out during the recovery, or something. But I can't believe that they did not secure that place as a crime scene, and that they didn't have somebody search the water for any other, evidence. So, and all this stuff that allegedly belonged to Kiely gets left at the bottom of the lake. And this guy out of nowhere goes out there and finds all this stuff and has trouble getting through to the police, and takes, an act of God to get them to come out there. And I think it is when they flip the vehicle. Oh, okay. Okay. But the fact that this guy is so closely connected to this SF Investigates that has, been too involved, in my opinion. I just don't know what to think about it all. I don't know what to think about this Zanime chick. Um, I hear talk about her. I hear a lot of talk about her, but and her going out there in her kayak, that was creepy. But is she, covering up anything? And God, there's all kinds of conspiracies about her. They were stating nothing. Exactly. Because they do, AWP does certain security measures to secure the car, and secure the contents and whatnot in the car when they do a recovery. But no, the police, had to handle it. It's kind of funny they made it a crime scene as far as making AWP leave, who found the damn thing, but yet, don't at least keep it as an active crime scene and search for or look for any other evidence. Because they should have had divers, or even asked, I believe his name's Nick, or ask the guys from AWP to, dive around down there and see if they see anything else, another body, or another anything, any kind of evidence. So, you know, I just can't believe that, because as a parent, I know, okay, you've recovered my child's car. Okay. Did you recover her phone? Did you cover her laptop? Did you recover her wallet? Was it her purse? You know, I would be asking about all this stuff. Um, so, I don't, and if it wasn't there, then I would be sending somebody back out there to search for it. Because it don't take rocket science to know, okay, the window was down and one got busted and one window got busted out. So it's possible some of the stuff could have fell out of the car. So maybe we need to go back out there and search and not let some Yahoo go out there and find it. But they didn't, you know. I don't know. I know it's easy. It's easy to Monday morning quarterback, but they made a lot of mistakes in this case. A lot of mistakes. And one thing that the big question is, why didn't the police find her? Why didn't the police find the car and all those searchers and stuff? We don't know where all they searched. We don't know, you know, how far out they went, um, what area they searched, how thoroughly they searched. We don't know anything about their investigation and their searching. It's to me for them to make it. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I said this in one of my when I did discuss this case, because I talked about um Adventures with Purpose finding her and talked about that. The police should not be intimidated by these guys. They should welcome these guys who are professional. They care. They are thorough. They are, really passionate about what they do. And just because someone has a better skill than you do doesn't mean you shouldn't be jealous of them, especially when it comes to solving a case, so finding a missing person. And during your search, one time, see the car now. Oh wow! I guess I haven't seen any of those videos of the LE searches. I've only seen the videos of Adventures with Purpose. So, but yeah, I mean it. It's shocking that they didn't find her or missed her or whatever. But I'm just glad she was found, and I'm glad that she's not one of their other cases where they're looking for people who have been missing for months and years. That I didn't know it, but they came here to Arkansas and had 6 targets, and then picked up 2 more targets while they were here because the law enforcement, Pulaski County law enforcement, found out they were here and went down to the scene and where they were searching and talked to them. And they're supposed to possibly come back. I'm hoping that they do, because one of their targets, um, I have a suggestion on another place to search, but I I know these guys are busy, and I guess I can't find an email for them though. No, there's no way in hell she floated to the back of that car. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to get Gil Grissom on that one, and you're gonna have to prove that one to me. And if you know what I mean by you're gonna have to get Gil Grissom on the case and prove that one to me. I don't believe that she floated to the back of that car. No way in hell. She either crawled back there on her own and passed out and died, or AWP also taught a training course for girls. Oh, okay, cool. Um, but yeah, I do hope that they come back to Little. Man, I cried through that whole 3-part documentary of them in Little Rock. It just there's no reason for law enforcement to be jealous or be, you know, one thing I know about law enforcement is that they are territorial. They are very territorial. And even I've heard of instances where your county police and your city police don't get along. And the county and the city, the sheriff's department and the city police won't work together because they don't like each other. And just because it's about egos and territory. Exact. Yeah. Um, well, I'm not so sure that they told them not to search it because they were being sinister. I think they just told them, or at least I hope, that they just told them not to search it because they had already searched it. But like AWP said, it ain't been searched until we search it. So, yeah, exactly. And it speculated of whether she was somehow strapped in or tied in or something, because there's what looks like a seat belt that was pulled back there, that's hanging out or something. And you got this couple asking these weird questions about attaching seat belts and stuff. So you know everything has fully come, in my opinion, everything has come full circle since Olivia's video with Jane Doe number 2. That was a big piece of the puzzle that finally brought everything together and gives a very good timeline and insight as to what I have based my speculative as to what happened, how it happened, when it happened, and what time it happened. um and I may be off on some details or whatever, but generally speaking, I believe that's how that things went down. So, I just hope that they get to the bottom of everything, though. I want to know who supplied the alcohol. I want to know who supplied the drugs. I want to know what kind of drugs they were. Um, all these people need to be prosecuted. Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a complete mess. But, I want to, my thing is I want to stick to the facts and stick to the truth as much as possible. But, after I heard all that jibber jabber last night of people talking about these big conspiracy theories and someone driving her car around for 2 or 3 weeks before they put her in the lake and all this, crazy conspiracy stuff is just, that's how things get out of hand and blown out of proportion, and then we can't, you know, decipher between fact and fiction, you know. But it just goes back to, usually the simplest answer is the truth. Oh my God. I'm so sick of this drama, Lola. I don't get involved in any of it. Um, that's why I'm a small channel. I do not get involved in any of it. So I'm pretty much relatively unknown. I Several years ago, a few years ago, I got into a mess on Facebook regarding another case, and I found out how backstabbing and how people, undercover spies and people running back and telling, oh, so and so said this, and so and so said that, and blah 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 blah, and then someone sends you a message and confront, and ask you and all this, and well, who told you that? Well, I'm not going to tell you. Childish crap, sixth grade childish crap. You know, and it's ridiculous. Some of these people out here think that they are some kind of experts, and they're not. And, they act like their word is the truth, and they act like they're, just, like expert sleuthers and expert, they have all these expertise, and they brag about them. You know what? I got 3 years of criminal justice college. I've got 3 years of journalism. I passed the police exam. I've been following true crime actively and involved as an advocate longer than anybody on YouTube. I can guarantee you I have, because I've been involved in true crime since the late 80s, long before there was ever even a social media, long before there was even cell phones and laptops. Exactly. I just use my That was what was so disheartening for me about when I took the police exam, is that I could not pass the agility test because I can't run. Oh, at the time, and I sure as hell can't run now. But at the time, I couldn't. I can't run. I never could run. And but how does me not being able to run and chase a perp mean that I wouldn't be a good detective? That I wouldn't be able to solve cases? That was what was so disheartening for me. But you have to have a year of street under your belt before you can even transfer to CID or criminal, or even be a criminal investigator with the police department or sheriff's department or whoever. The OJ trial. That was my first trial. That was my first televised trial, was the OJ case. And I worked nights at a club. So I'd be up all night at work, and then I'd be up during the day watching the damn OJ trial. So I missed out on a lot of sleep during that time. Your mother watched that trial religiously. Yeah, God. Uh, uh, Lord, I invested 2 years of my life into Jodi Arias. And I actually took a break, had to take a break after that and not follow any cases. Because not only, did I invest so much time into that case, um, like everybody else, I was batshit crazy by the time that was over with. That girl, she's batshit crazy, and she'll make you batshit crazy, just like she made poor Kirk Nermy batshit crazy. He completely quit being a lawyer because of her. Oh yeah, she is some kind of evil. She is some kind of evil, and I've even compared Sammy to her. Do I think she had help? No, I do not. I don't know why that uh what's her name, Dominic or whatever, that cellmate of hers. I don't know why she claims that, but I don't think that she had help. I think Jodi did every bit of that on her own. She caught him in a vulnerable. She got him in the shower when he was vulnerable, and is the only way that she, was able to. I think she stabbed him in the back, and then he's like, what the hell are you doing it, or she may have stabbed him in the front, or you know and then he went over to the sink and started spitting up blood and everything, and she started stabbing him even more, and they just fell all over the bathroom, and then of course we all know how that ended. But it was just a matter of getting him into that vulnerable state. And I think she is, Jodi's so methodical. I think she planned every single scene of that whole scenario in her head. And you know how she did it and everything was even compared to some movies and stuff, you know, um, and how she got the ideas. And I mean, she was methodical in how she planned all that. That was just nuts. But I just I don't get involved in that drama and these, people that, because like I said, I learned my lesson on Facebook. And then when I first came into YouTube and saw some drama going down, I knew right away that I wanted to stay away from those particular creators. So there's a lot of the bigger creators that have more of a following that I immediately knew to stay away from and not get involved with. And I mean, I'm not going to call out names or anything, but and then you had this period of time where I was very supportive of a lot of other channels, and but then I did not get that same support back. Following some of these channels is all kind of, that was 6 credits from my side. Yeah, I understand that, 9 out of 7. My the reason why I didn't get to even finish was because of my health took a turn for the worse, and I'm a single mom too of 2 kids. And my youngest was at home and going through school, and hell, she should have some of my college credits because she went to several classes with me. She even answered a question in my art class that no one in the class knew the answer to. And my 8-year-old child knew the answer to it. The teacher about fell out. And she's been with me through all my, advocacy work and stuff and whatnot. And so, this is my only way really of fulfilling my dreams, and fulfilling what I wanted to do is by, discussing these cases, doing some sleuthing, and maybe helping to solve a case, helping to find a missing person. Yeah, well, that's something I know a lot about too, is depression, Lola. I completely understand where you're coming from on that one. I've battled depression my whole life, so I know all about that one and where you're coming from on that. So, this is my only real way of being able to do anything in the world of true crime, that I get some kind of, happiness from. And I like I said, I'm a small channel, and I'm not involved with a lot of these bigger creators and stuff. Um, and like I said, I started participating on panel with Bullhorn Betty in this Kiely Rodni case, and I have enjoyed it. I have so enjoyed it because I want to work with other creators. I want to talk with other creators. I want to talk with other creators about cases. I don't want to talk about fucking drama. I don't want to hear about so and so don't smokes weed and so don't take care of their kids and and she's a stupid bitch and blah blah blah. I don't want to hear it. It you know I it's ridiculous. It's that's the one thing that I learned from that whole incident that happened on Facebook was that people are this is a competition. It's a competition to people. And that is so ridiculous. For it to be a competition. I have made light of how we have so many, we've got several good creators and they all cover a different variety of stuff. You have your group that is really good, with missing kids. And then you have your group that are covering the the higher profile cases, the ones that everybody is covering, like Summer Wells, Kiely Rodni, Harmony Montgomery, and those different cases. And then me, I'm a little different. I yeah, I've talked about some of the same cases that other people have, but I try to do things that are a little bit different. Um, like I'm a big trial person in covering trials. I actually started my podcast on Spotify and last year covering cases and covering so many of the trials that went on. But right now I'm in limbo on trials because everybody's sitting in jail waiting to go to trial. Most all of the cases that I'm covering, everybody's sitting in jail waiting on a trial. And some of them are not going to go to trial till 2023. I'm looking at all of 2023 being full of back-to-back trials. And so, that's what I probably better rest up because 2023 is going to be busy. Okay, I need to get the word out about missing. Yeah, there's a lot of talk in the missing kids community. That's a whole nother branch of this true crime community here on YouTube, and they are brainstorming and trying to how do we get this Amber Alert system straightened out to where some kids are getting Amber Alerts and some kids aren't. How do we get this whole mess straightened out with these cases where CPS is failing these kids and they're dying and they're not being reported missing for a year or two or more, and or judges are taking these kids out of good foster homes and giving them back to their shitty parents, and then they end up dead, which is like the case of in the case of Harmony Montgomery. And they're really working hard trying to find some kind of solutions as to how to do something about all that. But I like to do things a little different here on my channel. And, not so much get, caught up in the cases that everyone's covering. Like I said, I've enjoyed going over to Bullhorn Betty's channel and participating with her and her panel on this case. I just decided I wanted to discuss it after listening to all that crazy conspiracy theory stuff, and like, I just felt the need to put out, a scenario of truth, based on, what we know from what's been released, and not just sit. Well, I'm thinking, aliens might have done it, or, you know, SpongeBob SquarePants kidnapped her, and, you know, crazy stuff. I'm all about a good conspiracy, but, you know, sometimes there just isn't one. So, I know that might be boring, but, it is what it is. But I'm going to get to bed because it is midnight and I've got to get up early in the morning and do my makeup and get my costume on and my hair done. And I'm going to try to film live from SpaCon. And I'm hoping to, depending on what kind of feel and vibe I get from people, I'm hoping to possibly interviews, not like interview people, but I'm wanting to go around and pose a question to people there, since my anime character, is from the world of true crime, and I'm like a crime fighter. I yeah, I want to I have something that I want to try to go around and ask people. And so I'm going to ask you all this question, and you can give me your feedback. Everyone has a favorite crime fighter, and everyone has a favorite crime villain. So, in the world of real life, television, and movies, as well as, Marvel comics and all that kind of stuff, who from the world of TV and movies and whatnot is your favorite crime fighters? And who are your favorite crime villains? I'm going to name a few of my, before I get off here, I'm going to name a few of mine. My favorite crime fighters, of course, from TV, are the squads from the Law and Order series. Olivia Benson, Mariska Hargitay. I mean, she is who I would want to be, who I want to be. Olivia Benson is who I want to be. I wish I could be. But the squads from Law and Order, they're my favorite crime fighters. NCIS New Orleans. The crew from NCIS New Orleans, the crew from the original CSI in Las Vegas, Gil Grissom, Catherine Willow, Sarah Sato, Greg Sanders, all that group are my favorite crime fighters. But my number one favorite crime fighters are Electra Woman and Dinah Girl. If you lived through the 70s, if you're a child of the 70s, there is a short little series from the Sid and Marty Krofft Hour called Electra Woman and Dinah Girl. Electra Woman was played by Deidre Hall, who plays Marlena Evans on Days of Our Lives and has for 100 years. But yeah, they were my favorite crime fighters as a child. From movies, of course, I love Wonder Woman. I've always loved Wonder Woman, Batman and Robin, and Batgirl, and the Fast and Furious gang are some of my favorite crime fighters. Now, for crime villains, in the world of real life, I guess you could say my favorite crime villains are Eileen Wuornos and Charlie Manson. From television, T-Bag from Prison Break. T-Bag, if you watch the show Prison Break, T-Bag, who was played by Robert Nieper, was such a disgusting, vile human. And the crimes he committed were horrendous. But he was the villain that you hated to love and loved to hate. And he was just so amazing as Theodore Teddy T-Bag Bagwell on Prison Break, Robert Nieper. William Lewis from Law and Order SVU. William Lewis is the psychopath that kidnapped Olivia Benson and held her hostage, and he committed all sorts of horrendous crimes and stuff. That was a really good storyline, but God, he was a despicable person. Deckard, the Shaw brothers, Owen and Deckard Shaw from the Fast and Furious, crime villains. Richard Wheatley from Law and Order Organized Crime, from the first season of Law and Order Organized Crime. Crime villains. I loved Dr. Freeze, the Joker. Of course, I love those. Catwoman, though, is got to be my favorite. And Michelle Pfeiffer was the best Catwoman. So, but anyway, those are some of my favorites. And if you would, if you're listening to this back on replay, list some of your favorites in the comment section. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel. Give me a chance. Hit the subscribe button. I'm not monetized. You don't have to join or be a member or anything. Just hit the like button and subscribe, and help me get into the algorithm and help me get seen by more people and everything. But I want to thank all of you who came into my chat this evening. I've really enjoyed it and really enjoyed talking with you. And I hope that you will definitely come back. And as always, here at the Ruby Pearl Glamper, my motto is to be the change that you wish to see in this world. As Michael Jackson said, it starts with the man in the mirror. Good night, everyone. Peace out.